Hi, welcome to the Lakes Region Humane Society. I'm Megan Fichter, the Managing Director, and I'm going to be your tour guide today. This is Deb Watkins. She is the new Assistant Director. She handles all the front desk responsibilities like she used to, only now she's helping with staff and events as well. These are the stairs that head up to some of our cat rooms we're going to take you on a tour of. So here we are at our first cat room called Cat in the Hat Haven. As you can see, we have fire extinguishers and maps on how to evacuate the building in case of emergencies. There are 8 fire extinguishers throughout the building that are checked annually. So this cat room only has one cat in it right now. Her name is Coco. Coco has been a long-time resident of the Lakes Region Humane Society. She came into us with luxating patellas, asthma, and diabetes. Her diabetes, since she's been here, is no longer a problem. She's lost some weight, so the asthma has kind of petered out as well. So she's doing pretty good. She does not like to be housed with other animals or children. So now we're going to check into our Pounce Lounge and see some of the kitties that we have living here. So here are some of our kennel cards on the wall, telling us who's living in this room.
Cats. Yes. Yes. I remember your voice. Yes.
This is Ori. Ori came in as a stray and was never reclaimed. So now she's ours. Hi, Ori. Here's Ashby Silvereye. She came in. Oh, that's not Ashby. Oh, this is the new kitty in the room. Came out of hiding. Hi. He was a stray as well, who was not reclaimed. Here we have another kitty taking a nap. Cat rooms can be broken into one large room or 2 rooms, depending on need and whether kitties are getting along or not. So right now we're keeping this door closed. We have Josephine, who's an older cat. She's 15 and a half years old. There she is. She doesn't really like to climb out of her cage. She's more of a homebody. And then up top here, we have Precious, who came in with a severe flea allergy. But we've got her all fixed up now, and her hair's starting to grow back, and she's doing great. She's a very sweet cat. And then we head into our kitchen. This is where we prep food for the cats, and where we wash cat dishes. We also have a Bravo board for staff, so if they go above and beyond, they can give each other a star. Each star is worth $1 in LRHS bucks, and they can buy our merchandise. And there's cat dry food storage in our fridge. Next, we're going to go upstairs into Kitty Cottage. Here we are at Kitty Cottage. It's our second newest quarantine room. We have Little Thing right here. She came in as a stray, and she's exhibiting symptoms of upper respiratory. So she's going to be up here until those symptoms go away. The kennels are double wides, so they have quite a bit of space, more space than the upstairs kennels. There's 16 individuals kennels if we want to do individual housing. Like I said, we usually do the double wides, so that would mean there's 8 double wide cages up here. There's a sheet that separates the cats from each other so they can't see each other or spread diseases across the room by sneezing. This is Mystic. Mystic was brought in as a stray, and she's just waiting to make sure she's not going to be reclaimed by her owners before we fully vet her and make her available for adoption. So that's Mystic. This is the little vet tech office here. We have a sink that we can use to wash dogs and cats. We also use it to wash sanitized crates in the winter months. We have our poop counter here. We run all our fecals ourselves, so we do all the fecal tests here under a microscope. We also do blood work here. We do the SNAP tests. So we take blood. We also do distemper vaccinations and medicate animals depending on what our veterinarians tell us to prescribe. And then we have a nice table here where we can do exams on, as well as scales to weigh the animals and monitor their weight, make sure they stay healthy. We can do saline IVs if an animal's dehydrated. There's also a fridge for medications down there. Over here we have the medical closet, so this is where the meds are kept. It's usually locked, but for the purposes of this tour, we left it open. So we have general supplies over here, and then the medications are over here. The average length of stay for dogs is about 2 weeks. Usually it's 2 weeks worth of quarantine. Then, depending on the dog, it's only about 2 to 5 more days before they're adopted. So the kennel has 4 parts. We have a bite quarantine hold, which we use for strays if need be, but mostly it's reserved for animals who are owned and have bitten somebody and are not up to date on rabies. So that's the bite quarantine hold. That has 2 kennels, but there's a guillotine door in the middle, so if an animal is particularly fractious, we don't have to handle it at all, which seldom happens. The main reason we use the guillotine door is if it's a big dog and it's going to be with us for 10 days, we want to give it as much space as possible. We could have it broken down into 2 kennels and hold 2 dogs as well if need be. We also have the animal control quarantine section, which has 3 kennels. We have what's called an overflow quarantine. That's our 3rd quarantine space. That's brand new as of this summer. What we realized is, especially with doing dog transports, that we had more dogs under quarantine at any given time than we had on the adoption floor. So we asked a couple of our generous donors for a gift, and they awarded us a gift. We built a wall and a door, and we segmented a part of the adoption kennel and reallocated it to the overflow quarantine area. So that means we have 4 additional quarantine kennels if we want to use them. If we don't want to use them, that's fine. That can be the adoption floor. But at least we have a way to segment off the adoption floor from quarantine areas. So we have that. Then we have the adoption floor, which is the 4th part of the kennel. There's 6 small adoption kennels or 3 large. Again, those have guillotine doors as well. If it's a big dog, we like to give it as much space as possible. We'll open the guillotine and let them have a double wide kennel. If we're strapped for space, we'll have to keep them closed, and they're just going to have to make do until we can find them homes. Overflow and adoption kennels are 4 feet wide by 8 feet long and 6 feet high. When the guillotine doors are open, the kennels are 16 feet long. This is the beautiful mural that Deb did for us. Above that, you'll see those gray areas are sound absorption panels, which helps reduce the echoing of all the barking for the staff and for the dogs alike. We had the floors redone. It's working out very nicely. This is Truski, who came up from Texas. He's doing very well. Yes, you're a very good boy. So this is an adoption floor kennel. And there's a guillotine door back there so it can be opened up to be made larger. There's little baskets on the outside of each kennel so that we can put pre-adjusted harnesses in there and keep toys that owners want their animals to have when they surrender them. This is Oreo. So this is the door that was installed to cut off our adoption floor and make it into a quarantine area. So this is what we call the overflow quarantine area. This is little Rocky, who had the foot issues. He's doing much better now. This is the general washing area where we wash laundry and dishes. Through that door is a feeding closet. That's a food prep cabinet. Another fire extinguisher. And there's that's for fecal matter. It's a special toilet. This is where the police have 24-hour access to drop off cats or dogs anytime, night or day. We don't usually have the animal control officers dropping off cats during the night. They usually come during the day. But just in case of emergencies, we have 2 cat kennels set up here. We also have the 3 animal control hold kennels. They're all ready to be set up should the police need them. There's towels to put down as beds. And then there's food bowls, food, so that they can feed them. And that is a water spigot so that they can give them water. The last piece of the kennel that you haven't seen is the bite quarantine area. We actually have a dog in there right now. So I'm going to walk you by it. This dog is owned and it bit a child in the face, so it's here for 10 days. Just off the bite cue hold is a stairwell that goes up to our training room, so I'm going to take you up there next. So here we are in our relatively new training room. It was erected in 2016. It's for our shelter dogs to play during inclement weather. It's for them to work on training. It's for the public to come in and do dog training classes or private consults. It's for owned dogs to come in and meet our shelter dogs to make sure that everybody gets along before they're able to go home together. Gets quite a bit of use. So before we had Kitty Cottage, this is all we had, which limited us quite a bit as to how many animals we could take in. So this room has its own airflow and its own sink. There's stainless steel cubbies in a variety of sizes. They're typically about 28 inches long by 2 feet wide by 1.5 feet tall. So this kitty came in today. It was an owner surrender, and we think she's probably pregnant. So we're looking for a foster home for her. But first we're going to test her and make sure that she's not contagious with anything before we send her home. A view of the outdoor dog exercise pens here. Lastly, this is our meeting room. It's right off the porch. But this pretty much concludes the tour of our shelter. We hope you enjoyed it. We're very grateful to your foundation for taking the time to view all this and read over our application. We hope that you will help us continue our mission and make our 2018 budget. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.